A well-equipped and capable defense system is essential to safeguarding a nation's interests, its security, as well as its policies of engagement and enlargement. The Global Firepower Index ranks the United States of America at the first position among the 145 countries considered in its review. The US is a major player at the global stage, and its military is tasked with the mammoth responsibility of defending the country from attacks and safeguarding its interests. The United States, being a global player, cannot restrict its focus to merely one geographic area or narrow its field of surveillance. Its economy is heavily dependent on global trade. It has several allies and competitors globally. Therefore, its military should be competent enough to deal with any contingencies at hand.
The US military is very powerful and arguably the best globally. It has nuclear weapons that deter foreign aggression on US soil and are critical to US security. The US Armed Forces began as the Continental Army on 14 June 1775. The Continental Navy was formed in October 1775 after the Declaration of Independence. Congress formed the US Army and the US Marine on 3 June 1794 and 11 July 1978 respectively. The US Armed Forces is divided into 6 branches. Out of the 5 branches, namely the US Army, US Marine Corps, US States Navy, the US Air Force, and the US Space Force, are organized under the Department of Military Departments. The US Coast Guard is normally under the Department of Homeland Security. Each branch is assigned a distinct role and domain. The US Army conducts land operations, originally established in 1775 as the Continental Army. They are responsible for land warfare operations. The US Navy and US Marine Corps conduct maritime operations. The Marine Corps consists of the regular Marine Corps and Marine Corps Reserve. The Marine Corps maintains a very close relationship with the US Navy. The US Air Force conducts air operations. Originally established in 1947 when it was separated from the US Army. The US Coast Guard is unique as it specializes in maritime operations and also law enforcement. The Coast Guard maintains maritime security, maritime search and rescue, and maritime law enforcement. It was first established in 1790 as the US States Revenue Marine and consists of the regular Coast Guard and the Coast Guard Reserve. The US is ranked first out of the 145 countries considered for the annual Global Firepower Review. The nation holds a power index score of 0.699. The act of waging a prolonged conflict requires massive financial commitment from all parties involved. The value and importance of military spending have increased globally. The US remains at the top of the list of highest military spending countries in 2024. The US defense budget under fiscal year 2024 is $883.7 billion. The US has increased its military budget due to the escalating tensions in the South China Sea and the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine war. Regarding manpower, the US is the third largest army in the world with about 1.4 million active military personnel and 800,000 reserve personnel. The Army is the oldest branch of the US military and has the most personnel. The United States possesses 2,959 infantry fighting vehicles, approximately 4,000 military tanks, and 5,096 artillery. Armored vehicles make up the largest chunk of US firepower on land. In terms of air power, the United States comfortably ranks first and has a stock of around 13,000 aircrafts. These include fighters, transport aircraft, trainers, special mission aircrafts, helicopters, and attack helicopters, 66 bomber aircrafts, and 261 drones. The naval power. The United States Navy is the world's largest and most powerful navy, with over 90,000 active members and a fleet of around 484 warships. The US has 14 ballistic missile nuclear-powered submarines, 53 guided missile submarines, 11 aircraft carriers, 111 cruisers, destroyers, and frigates, and 31 amphibious ships. The United States conducted its nuclear test in 1945 and became the nuclear superpower. After 4 years, the Soviet Union also conducted its first nuclear explosion in 1949 and joined the bandwagon. Russia, a successor of the Soviet Union, is a nuclear state and a signatory of the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Collectively, both states possess 89% of the world's total inventory of nuclear weapons and 86% of the stockpiled warheads. In conclusion, the United States is a leading superpower in the world. Since the dissolution of the Soviet Union and the emergence of a unipolar world, for a brief period, the US emerged as a significant power in the world in all sectors, including economy, internal stability, military, and defense. Hence, in military comparison, the US is at the forefront of new inventories and stockpiling of military weapons, whether land forces, air power, sea forces, nuclear arsenals, special operations, or cyber weapons. Therefore, the world is moving from unipolarity to multipolarity due to the emergence of Russia and China as major powers. Both the states are posing serious threats to the hegemony of the United States in terms of their military power.